Okay, this is a quick demonstration of the QRacing software system that hooks up with the Qstarz GPS lap timer and analyzer. This is the screen you see right when you open the program. So after you've downloaded, created your data, the first thing you want to do is just plug in the GPS unit and then turn it on. So once you do, it immediately recognizes the unit and asks you if you want to read the log. Click yes. Then it has a drop-down menu to select the type of racing you're doing. Up at Loudon, that would be a circuit with a defined single start-finish line. But you can also do drag racing or rally racing if you have a separate start and finish. Here I'm going to click Circuit Sprint. Click OK. And it starts importing the data. It generally takes about 10-20 seconds, and that'll obviously depend on how long you're recording as well. Over here, they have you can see that there's a way to name each GPS unit. So if you have several units on one system, or if you have several units, different units for each bike, say, you can keep everything sorted. Once it downloads the data, the first thing it asks you if you want to do is edit the beacon. Click OK, and then it takes you to the view of your results. So this is the path that I traveled. This is just around a local neighborhood. So you could drop in the start finish line, just click start finish, and then wherever you want to put it, just drop it in there. Obviously, if you're up at the track, it's going to be a little bit more defined. Up at Loudon, you'll know where it is on the straight approximately, and if you're off by a little bit, it doesn't matter. It's all relative. It's just recording how long it takes you to get from the start finish back to the start finish. So if you're a little bit off when you drop that in, it's no big deal. So once you have this start finish line created, you can click on the track tab. These are some old beacons from before. Those will go away in a second. Uh, from the drop down menus, you can click each lap, and it puts them up there color coded. Um, and you saw those old beacons come up. Once you set this once and keep them, the next time it reads GPS information from this location, they'll be there unless you delete them. So between each session, you're not going to have to set the beacons each time. Next time you download, um, everything will be there, just ready for you to read. So you can see right away it pops up the lap times. First lap was 127.6, and then the second lap was 139.8, and then the third lap was 135.5. Um, you can play the results and see exactly how fast you were going in each location, and it does a little comparison. It shows each lap real time. Over here in the right hand column, the speed of each lap at the point of the dot, and then you can also drag the cursor along the path to get the speed and the time, and you can do that down here as well. Shows you your acceleration at each point too, which shows you the live acceleration. I'm going to stop that. So a really cool thing about this is if you want to analyze a certain section of the track, you can just drop splits in. So you left click on splits um, and just plop in however many splits you want. But if you're looking at one section of the track, if you're changing throttle technique or braking technique or line, you can just put those splits in there and see what's going on right in between those. So you go back to the track view, and you can see it has all sorts of new information. So start finish line to split 1, start finish line to split 2, start to finish, which is just the entire lap time again. Then 1 to 2 and 2 to the finish line. So 1 to 2 is probably what you're going to be most interested in if you're dropping those in. Um, so you can see the first lap it took 12.9 seconds between 1 and 2, the second 14.1, and the third 13.8. So if you're, like I said, changing any sort of technique, you can see right away how it's affecting that portion of the track. And it's really easy to, if you want to add more, you just put it in and it renames everything. And if you want to get rid of it, just click on this arrow up here, which is the selection tool, and then hover over it and it'll highlight for you. Then left click it and delete beacon, and then it goes back to the old naming convention. So the analysis tab is really cool. Has the lap times, which you've already seen, then it has the difference between each lap and the best lap, the max speed on each lap, the min speed on each lap, the average speed on each lap, and then distance on each lap. Distance not too important for us. Um, and then it goes a little bit deeper into this the splits, or a summary at least, um, and it tells you the difference between each one. So your best from start to one, it tells you what your best one is, and the difference between each subsequent lap. Um, Best theoretical time is really interesting. It gives that's basically the best of each split um, combined. So if you could string together your best splits, that would be your best theoretical lap time, which is really cool. And then it gives you point current speed view. So split one, it gives you your speed on each lap. Split two on each lap, and at the start finish line, it gives you the speed at each lap. Another really cool thing is you can view the data in Google Earth. Obviously, the data has GPS information embedded in it, so it can take you right. And it shows all the data points, recording 5 samples every second, so you get quite a bit of data. But the actual file size when you're done with these things is pretty impressively small. You can also export all this data into a CSV file, and if you wanted to dive a little bit deeper into the analysis with Excel or some spreadsheet program. And then obviously you could save each log. So between track visits or session to session, you can see how you're improving. You can keep these and see what's going on year to year even. You can also there's a part of this where you can import video from a GoPro or something and link it up with your GPS data, so you can combine the GPS and video data and watch what's going on when you're seeing the data. All right, that's a quick overview of the QRacing software system.